A very good evening to all of you once again, and a warm welcome to this webinar, which we have brought back on extremely popular demand. This is Phonics Fiesta, and on this Saturday evening, it's a great pleasure to welcome all of you. Before we move into the webinar, let me quickly take you through the housekeeping norms that we generally follow for all our webinars. We have kept everybody on mute and the cameras have been turned off. This is for the purpose of avoiding any kind of distraction that may come in between. We are making sure at our end that we have very good connectivity throughout. In case you face any audio or video disturbance, kindly check connectivity at your end. Sometimes logging out and logging back in helps in restoring audio and video connectivity. At the end of the session, we will give you, you will receive, once the webinar closes, you will receive a link for providing feedback. Kindly take out 2 to 3 minutes of your time to provide our feedback on how this program benefited you. And once you have submitted the feedback, you will receive your certificate, the soft copy of your participation certificate in your inbox, in your email inbox within the next half an hour or so. In case you don't receive your certificate, please reach out to the Academic Excellence team member and they will ensure that you receive it without much difficulty. All right. So those were the general norms that we will follow. And yes, since we are all on mute, if you have any queries, any questions that come up, please use the chat box. Put your question there. One of us, either the facilitator or me or Rajni, who is here to help us out with the webinar, one of us will pick this up and we will answer your query. Right. Now it's a great honor and pleasure to introduce the facilitator of the day. We have with us Preeti Ahuja, who will be the facilitator for today's session on phonics. Let me quickly give you it's a very brief introduction to what Preeti has done, considering the experience that she has had through the last so many years. Preeti Ahuja is an accomplished educational professional with strong commitment to improving teaching practices and fostering a positive learning environment. She has over 20 years of rich experience and her expertise lies in teacher training, professional development, and creating innovative learning experiences. Currently, she is a senior manager at Oxford University, India, and she manages professional development activities for K-8 grade teachers across hundreds of schools in India. She is passionate about English language teaching, and she specializes in phonics. To support teachers' personal and professional development, she develops innovative, stimulating, and comprehensible teacher modules, training modules for teachers. And for this, she integrates technology and activities to enhance learning and teaching styles. In her teacher training sessions, Preeti usually fosters an open, honest, communicative, and supportive environment and ensures that participants feel secure, special, and appropriately challenged to realize their potential. Preeti is an alumna of the prestigious Isabella Thoburn College, Lucknow, and she has had enormous experience having worked in international NGOs, pan-India state government programs, and CBSE. Throughout her career, she has been recognized for her expertise in teacher training and professional development. And that is exactly what she is bringing to the table for us today as she takes us through this webinar on phonics. Thank you so much, Preeti, and it's over to you now.
Thank you, Shalini, for those kind words. Too many words. Thank you so much. And very good evening to all the wonderful teachers present here. And once again, welcome to Phonics Fiesta. Just allow me to share my screen. I hope the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation is visible.
It is Preeti.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, today we are going to take phonics adventure to a next level, and our exciting agenda for today is this in front of you. One second. Yes, technology plays hard. Okay, so last session recap. We will start with the last session we had. We will recap that through a video recording. Then we will talk about types of phonics, stages in systematic synthetic phonics, and throughout the session, I will be calling it as SSP, that is Systematic Synthetic Phonics, SSP. Then practical steps for implementing SSP, how SSP has been integrated into Oxford Advantage Little Champs. So I will be walking you through the learning management system and showcasing how we have integrated SSP in this. And last but not the least, some fun phonics games and activities which you can play in your classrooms with your children. So, are you all ready to supercharge yourself for phonics teaching? Right? So, let's get started. And okay, so in the past, we had hosted two webinars on phonics. And this video, which you are about to watch, this video will briefly give you an overview of the topics we had covered in those sessions. So we have collated a video for you from one of my recent sessions I have done for Pan India teachers. So after watching this video, you will be provided with the details on how to access the full recording for both the sessions, and by Monday it will be live. So let's have a look at this. What is your understanding of phonics? Phonics is a method of teaching to read by correlating sounds with letters. So if I show you this, this is a symbol for a child, and the sound which this symbol would say would be a, and that is phonics, correlating symbol with sound. Phonics is sound and letter. Phonetics is a branch of linguistics that studies how humans produce and perceive sounds. Phoneme is the smallest unit of sound we can hear or speak in a spoken word. The written version of phoneme is grapheme. Grapheme may contain 1, 2, or 3, or even 4 letters. When 2 letters are put together and they are making a single sound is a digraph. Dia means 2. So when 2 letters are put together to make a single sound is called a digraph. For example, sh. So 2 letters S and H making a single sound. Try means 3. So when 3 graphemes but making a single sound, or night, N-I-G-H-T, N, I, T, 3 phonemes, but the center sound I is IGH. So 3 graphemes but a single sound. Quadgraph means 4. For example, bought, B or T. The word is bought. I bought a new car. So bought, the middle sound is O, which has 4 letters, O-U-G-H. So blending means putting together when the child has to read. So blending and decoding. So then when he is trying to read, for example, the word is s-a-t. He puts the sounds together and reads the word as sat. So segmenting means to break. So when you are giving dictation as teachers, when you give dictation to your child, so in his mind, he's trying to break. So, for example, you say, okay, children, the first word you have to write is bat, bat. So the child will try to break this ba, b, and it is ending with a. So he will write a letter B, he will write A, and it is ending with a t sound. He will write a T. Basic phonic codes. There could be some schools using different schemes with different letter order. They might not be in alphabetical order. So it does not matter till the time all the sounds are being taught to the child. When a child sees a symbol, you have to tell the child that this is letter name. The letter name is A, and the sound it makes is A. We suggest, and in our books also you will see that the uppercase and the lowercase are going hand in hand because a child cannot give away either. So, uppercase and lowercase should be taught together. Letter names should be taught along with the sound. Advanced codes or alternate sounds or code overlap. When children have learned all the sounds, the basic codes which we did just now, they need to be aware of some alternative ways in which some of the sounds can be written. How many other ways sh can be written? How many other ways f sound can be written? How many other ways a sound can be written? So many hints and rules are to be followed when we are dealing with this language. So everywhere when a letter has a sound at the end, it is the I, which we have learned as a digraph, is replaced by a Y. Y can behave both as a consonant as well as a vowel sound. Is C, CK, and K. How do we distinguish between these three types of k sound? To retain the Greekness of the word, some words, for example, phone, instead of phone, we write ph. When the G is followed, that means after letter G, you are writing A, O, or U, it is pronounced as G. And when it is followed by a I, E, or a Y, it has a G sound. When after C there is a E, I, or a Y, you say the sound S. Pine is again a very beautiful example that if I remove the E, it will become P, I, N, pin. But when the E is there, the magic of E makes I and E a digraph and we say the sound I. So that's why pine, pine. But if we remove the E, it will become pin. So when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. For example, boat, b, o, t. So when there are two vowels together, we always say the name of the first one, o, b, o, t. English language is very tricky, does not follow the rules. Some rule apply some place, some rule apply other place. There are basic codes, there are advanced codes. So please start simple, start basic with your children so that they are able to quickly start reading, right? And what will help you and your children the most? Practice, practice, and more practice. Remember the rules and all the best. Thank you so much, teachers, for holding your patience and watching this video. This was deliberately done so that we could watch the revision. Here we actually have explored the history of English language, what is phonics, developed some basic phonemic awareness, and examined the fundamental uh, phonic codes. We also discussed some rules for blending as well as segmenting, and which you might refer to as, like in the video I mentioned, alternate or advanced codes. I hope you have been applying these basic codes and phonemic awareness skills effectively in your classrooms. Okay, so going ahead, one second. Mm, One second. Okay, so there was a slide actually. Shalini, can you just tell me which slide is visible on the screen because there is a lag?
Right now, we are able to see the video wala slide.
Video slide. Okay, fine, fine. Thank you. Okay, so just because there was high demand of quickly covering the sounds of basic codes, so let me quickly share with you the basic codes. And for that, I am not using the presentation, and we will start in the alphabetical order. And this is the first letter, which alphabetical in order which comes, and this is A. The letter name is A, and the sound it gives is A. A as in apple, A as in axe. Next is B. The letter name is B, and the sound of this letter name is B, and B as in bear, B as in balloon. Next letter name, or the letter which comes in the alphabetical order, is C, and the sound it makes is K. K as in cat, K as in cap. K, cat, K, cap. Next is D. D as in dog, D, D, D. The sound, this letter name, the sound it makes is D as in dog, D as in duck. Next letter is E. The letter name is E. So every time I am saying letter name, because A, B, C, D, E, these are all letter names. So this one is E, and the sound it makes is A. A. A as in elephant, A as in egg. Next is letter name F, and the sound it makes is as in fish or fan. Fish, fan. I would request all the teachers, when you are teaching your children the basic codes, the simple sounds, please use the same vocabulary or same examples, the words which are starting with the letter you are introducing in your class. So next is G, letter name is G, and the sound it makes is G. G as in goat, G as in gorilla. Next is letter H. H makes the sounds. It's just the breath which is coming out. It's not her. We strictly prohibit schwa sounds after English sounds. All the letters, please strictly try avoiding using the schwa sound. So H as in house or hat. Very quickly, I, as in ink pot, E as in igloo. Next is J. J makes the sound J, J, J as in jug and jam. Next is K. Letter name is K, and the sound it makes is K, K as in kite, K as koala. Next is letter L. L is making the sound L, as in lemon or lion. L. Next is letter M. M is making the sound M in, for example, mango, mug. So you are making exactly the same sound when you are starting the word with the same letter, like mango, mug, and the sound of this letter is m. Next comes N. N, as in nest or noodles. Next is O. Letter O makes the sound O, as like in orange or olives. Orange, olives. Next is P. The letter name is P, and the sound it makes is P, as in pot, P, as in parrot. Next is Q. Q is making the sound Qu, Qu, as in queen, Qu, as in quill. Next is R. Letter name is R, and R is making the sound R, as rose and rabbit. Rose and rabbit. Next is S. Letter name is S, and it is making the sound S, as in socks and sun. Socks and sun. Socks and sun. Next is T, and the sound it is making is T. T as in table, T as in tortoise. Next letter is U. U is making a sound A, as in umbrella, A as uncle, umbrella, uncle, A. Next is V, and the sound this letter makes is V, as in van, as in vase, van, vase. Next is W, and the sound it makes is W. You roll your lips and W, as in window and walrus, window and walrus. Next sound is X. X makes the sound X, as in box and fox, X, box, fox. Next comes your Y, and the Y makes the sound Y, Y as in yo-yo, Y as yellow. Next comes Z. Z makes the sound Z. It's a long sound, and how words would be zebra or zucchini. Z. Next is, now we are starting with the digraphs. A. So A and I together is making one sound, which is A, and the words which examples you can give is, for example, snail, 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 rain. So A sound. Next is O, as in boat, goat, boat, goat. Next is I, and for example, tie and pie. Next comes double E, and double E is making a E sound. For example, see, bean, or green, or keep, E sound. So E can be a hop over E also, and the words for this kind of E, if there is one consonant in between, then for example, shine, 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 or white, or fine, or hide. So these are called hop over. So still they will make the same sound. If two vowels walking together, the first one's name we always say, right? Next comes E. So EA, this is again a digraph, and the sound it is making is E, as in T, T-E-A-T, or eat, or neat, or clean, please. So E sound. Next is NG, and it is making the sound ng, as in sing, bring, ping. So these were all temporary. These ones were the temporary flashcards which I made for this session only. Next is ch. CH is making a single sound, ch, as in chair, chip, chalk. Next is sh, as in ship, shoe, shrug. Next is TH. So TH can be a soft th sound or a hard d sound. Three, thermos, throw, thumb. And TH would be the, there, there, and then. Next is qu, qu, quill, quest, quilt, queen, coat. Next is OU is ow, as in shout or out. Next is oi, 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 as in spoil, boil, coil. So the sound of oi becomes oi. It's a digraph. Two letters together are called digraph, making a single sound. Next is u, as in cue, clue, argue, venue. So UE together is making a single sound U. Next comes, again, this is a hop over U. So UE, when you say together and hop over, that means there is a single sound which is coming U, and probably there can be a consonant in between. For example, huge, Huge. So G is a consonant, but the magic E, which you will see in the recording. So huge or brute or tune, rude. So this is also U. Next is or. For example, door, So we don't say door, we say do, or sort, 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 or short. We don't say, I mean, the R is very slightly pronounced, or won, or sport. So O. Next is a sound, as in car, jar, or far. And last is your sound, as in better, letter. So R sound. So these were the basic codes. I hope I did not take a lot of time for that. And these elaborate you will find in the recording. Allow me to share my screen again now. Thank you. Okay, so let's activate your left, right, and central brain. And please read the question. Did you know that there are different types of phonics? And can you name any? Please use the chat box and tell me if you know any name of any type of phonics. So that's a task for you. Shalini, are we getting responses in the chat box?
There are several jolly phonics in, and I see synthetic, jolly, synthetic,
Okay,
pure phonics. Shamla ma'am says pure phonics,
okay,
jolly and synthetic,
yeah.
jolly and okay, synthetic and analytic.
Okay, lovely,
A lot of
lovely.
jolly phonics, lots of jolly
Okay,
phonics.
thank you so much, Shalini.
Analytic, yes.
Lovely, lovely. Okay. Thank you so much, teachers, for quickly sending in your responses, sharing your viewpoint with me. So, just before I take a deep dive into the types of phonics, a small clarity here. Jolly Phonics is name of a publisher. Like we are Oxford University Press, so we can't say Oxford Phonics. So Jolly Phonics, it's a publication house, and they give one type of phonics. So a couple of teachers did mention here analytics or analogy phonics here. So congratulations to those teachers. They actually have brainstormed all the parts of their brain. So let's go ahead. I hope my screen is visible here. So before I talk about these four types of phonics, that did you know that phonics isn't one size fits all approach? Okay, it's more like a buffet of strategies, and four are in front of you, and we are going to sample them all today in detail, the types of phonics. So first one in front of you is, these four are systematic synthetic phonics. So we uh, quite often talk about this. And like I said, throughout the session, I'll be calling this SSP. And another one is analogy phonics, and then embedded phonics and analytic phonics. So we are going to talk about these four types of phonics. Starting with the systematic synthetic phonics. So let's break this systematic from the simple sound to the most complex in order and cumulative, right? So systematic means that, and synthesis means to blend. For example, a word sat, s, at, t. So when we blend it and we call it sat, so that is systematic synthetic. And phonics is letter and sound association is phonics. So synthetic phonics, teaching sound in isolation. So now I am elaborating systematic synthetic phonics, SSP, teaching sounds in isolation and blending them. So this is the building blocks method in a simple language. SSP is building blocks method. Students learn individual sounds and blend them to form words. As simple as that. Going to the next slide. Okay. Synthetic phonics starts with teaching phonemes and then progresses to teach full words. It always starts with systematically teaching phonics, beginning with explicit and specific instructions. So we have to keep it in mind that SSP is with specific instructions about phonemes and graphemes in English language. Graphemes means the written form of the phoneme. Phoneme is sound, grapheme is the written form. Then the first stage of instruction usually involves whole class explicit teaching lessons and a great deal of repetition. So practice, practice, and practice. This is the most direct and structured method of phonics, and usually across everyone uses this to start phonics. Okay. Let's take up an example. In the word cat, the children will be able to identify three individual phonemes separately using the synthetic method. If we separate the word into single phonemes, single sounds, we end up with the sound k, a, t, and together when we blend, we are producing the word cat. The word cat is an example of a CVC word, we all know, starting with a consonant, then in A is your vowel sound, and ending again with a consonant sound. So these simple words will be some of the first, like how I told you that you give simple words and the word which starts with the sound which you want to teach, but they also move slow and gradual. They start tackling the trickier words also. Going next, the pros and cons of SSP. So, already mentioned, it has structured instructions. It helps students to blend phonemes and build new words, backed by research as a highly effective method. So, this has been researched also. The disadvantages of SSP would be primarily involves undifferentiated whole class instruction. So whether or not the child is understanding, but the instructions are same for all the children, right? Phonemes are used as decontextualized ways, okay, because we are not taking the context first, we are just picking the letters, the symbols in isolation, and teaching the children their sound. So that's the disadvantage here. Next, let's look at another type of phonics, embedded phonics. So, embedded phonics is like teaching phonics during reading of connected text. So, imagine this like SSP was building blocks, and you can imagine embedded phonics as in the wild. So, I say in the wild approach. Why? Because phonics instructions happen within the context of real reading and writing. So, while a child is reading a text, so there they will kind of try to identify the sounds and read the words. So, embedded phonics involves teaching phonemes and graphemes when they arise in teachable moments. So, when a teacher is teaching, and when she thinks that she has to put some stress on a particular word or a letter, so then that is the moment where she puts embedded phonics. So, in the wild, rather than learning through structured lesson, it is it emphasizes the importance of learning through context and ongoing exposure to words. Okay, so let's, for example, embedded phonics can be used to get students focus on contextual letter ya sounds, identification, and also on sight words. So, in the text you see on the slide right now, which is an extract from a story, as the teacher will read this, right? And like I said, that a word wherever she wants to put a stress, she focuses on that word and targets the letter and its sounds. For example, in this case, as the teacher reads, she reaches the word farm. She asks the children to focus on farm, the letter F, and the sound of that particular letter. For example, she's reading, oh, come, my friends, oh, come, my friends, oh, come to grandpa's farm, 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 farm. There is the woolly spring lamb, the little lamb, she goes like this, ba, ba, right? So, this is called embedded phonics. Now, let's take the pros and cons of this as well. So, here with embedded phonics, students learn about words and how to decode them while reading actual books. So, the children are exposed to proper books and good for practicing reading and identifying the weak spots, because while the child is reading, so the teacher immediately is able to identify that what is the weak point, and she practices those words with the child. What are the disadvantages? Looks like a long list of disadvantages with embedded phonics. It won't work alone. At some point, students need direct and structured instructions. That means SSP comes here. Without a step by step program, a teacher and the students may miss important lessons. Okay, so that's the disadvantages of phonics. Let's look at the next one, analytic phonics. So, a couple of teachers did write in the chat box about this, and I'm so happy for those teachers that they had an idea about different types of phonics. So, now analytic phonics. Uh, Teaching sounds after words are identified. Now, this is like for SSP, it was building blocks. For embedded, it was in the wild. For this, it is like a detective approach. Teaching sounds after words are identified. So, students analyze whole words and then break them down into their phonetic component. So, analytic phonics starts with familiar words that students have learned by rote learning, right? Cramming up. Lessons then involve having the students decode and break down those words into their phonemes. Usually, these words that are analyzed have a beginning sound which is called onset. Please remember onset in analytic phonics, how the words are broken, onset and rhyme. Onset is the beginning sound and rhyme is the ending sound, ending phoneme. It focuses on deconstructing words to identify the phonemes, starts with familiar words and breaks them down into their parts. Okay, let's look at the example of analytic phonics. So, analytic phonics does not involve learning the sounds of letters in isolation, unlike SSP. Instead, the children are taught to recognize the beginning and ending sound, that is, onset and rhyme, RIME, ONSET, onset and rhyme. Then, children are taught to recognize the beginning and ending sounds of words without breaking these down into smallest constituent sounds. Okay, so for example, if you look at the slide, we have example, the silent E example, die. So it is starting with D and ending with a then hope, hop, and hope. So uh, it's starting with a H and ending with a P sound. And cap and cape. So it's ending, starting with a K and ending with a P sound. Right? So this is how it is read. Let's look at the pros and cons of analytic phonics as well. So the advantages of this type of phonics is phonemes are learned as parts of words rather than decontextualized sounds. So that means with reference to context the child is reading. Then emphasis decoding rather than encoding, which is the central to reading, right? So he's trying to decode rather than putting it, breaking, segmenting it, and then trying to read. So that is the best part of this type of phonics. And what is the disadvantage of this type of phonics? Students can always get away with guessing words without knowing all the phonemes. So, like how we do it. Now, we are all grown up, and when we come across any new word, so what we do, we kind of use our past memory with the information and whatever knowledge and information we have about the letter sounds, and when we are putting it together or a similar word, then we are kind of trying to guess the sound. So let's structure then synthetic phonics. Now the last one is analogy phonics. Let's understand what analogy phonics is. So the first one was SSP. It was building blocks. Then it was analytic phonics, which was in the wild. Embedded phonics was, yes, embedded phonics was detective approach. Yes. Okay. And this one is, if you know this, you will know that. So analogy phonics is using parts of known words to identify new words. So if you know this, if you know a similar sound of any other word, and that those letters are coming in a new word, so you will be able to read that. So this method in simple language to understand is, if you know this, you will know that. So students use parts of words they know to read new words. So analogy phonics is in reality just a form of analytic phonics. But here, properly the teachers or in the books you will see family words are taught. So analogy is similar to the family word example I would give. Let's look at an example. So this is the example. Usually what happens is this is how a teacher is doing. Teacher shows the blend of new phonogram. For example, I plus double L, and she tells the children it means ill. And then teacher shows the blends, a set of ill words with single consonant onset. So it's bill, dill, fill, hill, and many other words. And students rereads them with ill word, and he is putting different consonants to pronounce different words. So teacher quickly defines unknown words or give examples, like fish uses gills to breathe in water, or till is like a cash register to which stores money. So teachers show blends another set of, then the teacher can show another set of the words. So she quickly defines unknown words or give examples. So this is how the analogy phonics is taught with examples. So, usually, like I said, it would be family words. Now, let's have a look at the advantages and disadvantages of this type of phonics. So, starts with familiar and builds on it to reach unfamiliar words. Okay. So this is very easy. So this becomes an advantage. Repetition and clustering of words help children learn patterns in language. Again, a very good advantage. And the disadvantage with analogy phonics is students can get away with guessing words without knowing all phonemes, less structured. Again, similar to your embedded phonics or analytic phonics, right? Now, let's understand systematic synthetic phonics in a little detail, right? So, um, each approach, all these four, they have their merits. But today we'll focus on the powerhouse method, which is systematic synthetic phonics. It's not as scary as it sounds, like systematic synthetic phonics, I promise. So now the entire spotlight is on this SSP. SSP is like giving your students a phonics superpower. Um, SSP is like teaching children to crack a code. We start with simplest sounds and gradually build up to more complex ones. It's systematic because we follow a clear logical sequence. It's synthetic because we teach children to synthesize or blend sounds to read. Right. So, why is SSP so effective? It provides a structured, sequential, and comprehensive approach to teaching, reading, and writing. Okay. I hope you have understood systematic synthetic phonics. Now, let's look at the 6 stages in systematic synthetic phonics. So these are the 6 stages of systematic synthetic phonics: skill development, first letters, then expansion, followed by consolidation, followed by further development, and last is achieving fluency while reading. So these are the 6 stages of SSP. So let's see that how skill development works. So, skill development means before learning to read, the children develop listening and visual skills, right? Visual and listening. So, they focus on sound discrimination, rhythm, and environmental sounds like a bell sound or a horn sound or a clap sound or footsteps, etc. So, the sounds in his environment. So, this is the basic skill development. Crucial listening skill is phonological awareness, the ability to discriminate between different sounds, such as different sounds for words quite similar but ending with a different sound. For example, from one of the family words, cut and cup. So now you have to tell a child to identify the last sound, the rhyme one, cut, cup. So then he will say, okay, the first one has the ending sound is t, and the second one is p, cup and cup. This develops naturally as children learn to listen to sounds around them: music, poetries, nursery rhymes, and everyday sounds are like key elements in developing this skill, the first stage of SSP. The visual skills which help children to acquire letter knowledge includes shape recognition and the ability to visually sort and classify the objects. So that is why a lot of objects and flashcards are used. So children generally develop most of these skills naturally through their interaction with parents and caregivers. So their reception years, teachers will help them continue developing these skills before introducing them to a formal reading program. Next stage is first letters. So, first letters, once they have acquired the necessary basic developmental skills of listening and visual skills, children are gradually introduced to their first graphemes. So, graphemes, I have already told you, grapheme is the written representation of the sound. So, for example, this is grapheme. How we write a sound is grapheme. Okay, so this is grapheme. The symbol is graph. How we are writing it. So these may be single letters such as s or b or k, or pair of letters, for example sh or ck. These first graphemes consistently represent the same sound. Children are encouraged to blend the graphemes together in order to sound out words. For example, sat, s, at, t, as soon as they have learned enough graphemes to do so. So we have to give them enough graphemes so that eventually they start writing. Next stage of SSP is expansion. Children are introduced to more sounds. Then these consist of both single letters or two letters, digraphs or trigraphs or quadgraphs, which represent a single sound. They learn consonant digraphs such as sh, th first, and then vowel digraphs like o, b, o, b, o, t, g, o, t, o, a, right? Or double u, book, look, right? So this is also the stage at which children begin to learn sight words. So sight words go parallelly. You'll see that in every book, sight words, they are taught because there is no structure way of teaching them. Next comes your beginning to read, that is segmenting. Teachers often talk about segmenting a word into phonemes as stretching the word. It can be hard for children to hear the component sounds in consonant blends, especially in the final position, for example, ND sounds. So, the particular attention must be given to representing each sound in these. So, fingers can be used. For example, the word which you can see on the screen, r, a, n, rain. So, segmenting. Let's look at a video so that we are able to better understand segmenting.
If the word rhymes, give me a quiet thumb up. If the word doesn't rhyme, give me a quiet thumb down right in front. Are you ready? Play, stay.
Play, stay.
Yep, that rhymes. Ready? Chair, me.
Chair, me.
That's it. Okay. Wet net.
Wet net.
All right, beginning sounds. Ready? Say me.
Me.
Beginning sound? Good. Say pale.
Pale.
Beginning sound?
Pa.
Good job. Say name.
Name.
Beginning sound? Say top.
Top.
Beginning sound? All right. Let's blend sounds together to make a word. Ready? B, E. S, E. E. K, E. M, E. Good job, everybody. All right. We're going to roller coaster some words to find the middle sound. Are you ready? Can. Ready? K. And. Middle sound? Good job. Net. And. Middle sound? Jump. Middle sound? I heard it over there. Good job. I'm going to say a word. You're going to take it apart. You give me the first sound and then the rest of it. Ready? No.
No. Oh. No.
Low. Good. Go. That's here. Go. So. Good. Say A. Put D at the beginning. Day. Say oo. Put T at the beginning. Good. Say I. P at the beginning. Say pay. Take off P. Good job. B. Take off B. Good. Say hi. Take off I. You say B. Okay, take off the B and change it to S. Oh, you did well. Good job. Say C. Take off the S and make it a N. Take off. Okay, so it was C. Take off S and make it N. Me. Good job. Say me. Take off M and make it F. Fee. Very good. Say fee. Take off F and make it B. B. Very.
Thank you, teachers, for watching the video, and see how effectively she was using the types of phonics, and how she has taught the sounds, and she was trying to play a game in a game way to identify the first sound, identify the last sound, and drop the first sound and replace it with any other letter. So this is how you can similarly do it in your classroom. Now let's look at consolidation. This is another stage of systematic synthetic phonics. So at this stage, children practice the skill they have learned and learn to blend groups of consonants such as TR, STR, LK. They also continue to learn some more sight words. So each stage sight words are mandatory. They go parallelly with the proper sounds which you are teaching. So they practice phonic skills they have learned. They use their phonic knowledge to read words they already know and to sound out and blend graphemes in words they see for the first time. As they continue to practice, young readers begin to develop their ability to read easily and fluently. So a lot of reading practice is required. Specific skills that students develop at this phases are how to blend group of consonants, right? Read contractions, for example, I and an apostrophe M, I am, or I will, I apostrophe double L. Also, they how to read longer words, how to divide words into syllables. Then also compound words like lunch box, windmill. So these words. So this is consolidation. Next, let's look at blending. So now this is another stage of SSP, beginning to read blending. So blending involves combining individual phonemes to form a complete word. For example, there is an example on the screen. Sun is the word, and how you have to blend it. S, So letter S is a long sound, so you pronounce it like that. Is a short sound, so you say and again letter N is a long sound, so you pronounce it and when you blend it, how you read it? Sun. 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 So this is blending. It's crucial step in early reading, allowing children to transition from recognizing sounds to reading whole words. I know it's really difficult. So oral blending, children merge sounds they hear in their heads, they say words after blending the sounds together. And blending for reading, so when they are faced with written words, right? So these are two ways when they are kind of blending words. So we can say types of blending: oral blending and blending for reading. Let's have a look at a very, very young child trying to blend.
Let's have a look at the next one. Ready? Go.
Un.
Try again. What's the first sound?
Un. Sun.
Let's have a look. Oh no, you're right though. It's a.
Again.
Yeah. Let's do this one.
Oh. Pop.
Let's have a look.
Die.
Good job.
Trick you.
Okay, turn that one over. Now have a look at it this way. Can you read what that word says? Good boy. Pop it into the basket, into the bucket. Okay, let's see what other fish you're going to catch. Good job. Okay, what word is on that fish?
Top.
Read. Start from here. What's the word? Good boy. Okay.
And cup.
Good boy.
I hope you enjoyed this. That at this young age also, the children, if they are taught and practiced oral blending, lot of oral blending and then blending for reading, they are able to blend. I know this is the toughest stage, but then you do succeed. So blending is a skill that helps us read, especially when confronted with unfamiliar words. So for a child, every word is an unfamiliar word, right? So most words are unfamiliar and they will need to blend many of the words they encounter. So it involves pushing together the sounds of the letters in the word in order to create the whole word, right? So for example, this child was reading. So blending is not a difficult skill to master. It simple requires practice, bold and in quotes and underlined, practice, and a lot of practice. So it's critical to introduce children to phonemic awareness skills of oral blending at an early stage. So modeling how to orally blend to create a spoken word and how to break a word apart is how to start a child's blending and segmenting journey. So once the children can blend at an oral level, the blending of words in print becomes a lot easier. Uh, Next is further development. So the further development, once children can read words automatically without having to sound them out, right? For example, it's written sun, so without n, automatically they are reading sun or top or cat, right? So they learn more vowels, digraphs, and different ways to read the same sounds. For example, the word whale, way, and whale all show different ways of representing the same A sound, right? Whale, it's WAI, so AI is having the same sound. WAY it has the same sound. Whale has the same sound. So a lot of practice is required. They also learn alternative pronunciations for the same graphemes, slow and gradual, such as like in tea or head and break. The It's written EA, but the pronunciation is different. So alternate or advanced codes. They also continue adding sight words. So if you'll notice that every stage I am repeating it, reiterating it, that sight words should go parallelly when you are doing phonics in your class. So then homophones are like pale and pale, that sounds the same but which are spelled differently. Homographs are words that are spelled the same but pronounced differently, like such as bow, meaning to bend, right? And again, the same spelling, bow, BOW and BOW, bow and bow. Bow is like the bow tie or the bow. So the spelling is same, homographs. And then uh, homonyms are words which with the same sound and spelling. Example, spring, right? The spelling is same, the pronunciation is same, but the meaning is completely different. Season, spring. So one is season spring and one is spring, like the coil, the spring which you have inside a pen, or sometimes the chairs also have, a sofa set also has that spring inside it. Another example could be bright, bright, bright. So bright is like a smart child, he's a bright child, so smart or intelligent. And bright is like for light, bright and sunny day, so homonyms. They also learn more contractions here. So earlier it was like simple contractions like I am or I will. Now the a little longer words, for example, cannot. So KAN apostrophe T, or did not or could not. And difference between it is as an abbreviation of it is, or it has the possessive, right? The dog ate its dinner, right? Then coming next is achieving fluency. So last step of SSP, last stage of SSP, achieving fluency. How? At this stage, pupils, like the students, are able to read familiar words automatically and decode most of new words silently without having to sound out. Now, this is also very, very important. Last, I mean, how the achievement you will qualify as achieved when the child is not sounding out the words, not sounding out the letters, the sounds aloud, but inside his head, and pronouncing the word as a whole word, not like but he's saying sun, right? So that is, we are calling it achieving fluency. Improving reading fluency is main goal of this phase. Parents and teachers should therefore continue to encourage children to read as a wide variety of reading matter as possible, fiction, non-fiction, anything, right? So to develop their spelling accuracy and writing skills, the more they read, the more they will look at the graphemes, because eventually the child has to write. He just doesn't have to read all the time or just listen to English words, because ultimately the child has to write. So a lot of reading is required. He should be looking at a text, looking at the books, fiction, non-fiction, as already told you. So when he looks at the written content, the image comes in his head that how I am reading this. For example, a sun is a picture of sun is there, the sun, and sun like beta is there. So when he looks at both the spellings, then the image becomes, I mean, is he is able to retain the image of the symbols, the graphemes, that for sun is rising from the east, he has to write sun, and for sun is to write another spelling. So reading is very important, so that every time he's looking at the spellings. Next comes, which phonics system does Oxford Advantage follow? So I think the slide is self-explanatory. It is a combination of all four. We initially we start with systematic synthetic phonics, because that is the most structured, easy way of teaching sounds of all the letters in the alphabet. And then you will see that some other place, embedded phonics or analogy phonics or analytic phonics, is being used, right? So it is like phonics is widely regarded as the best way of teaching reading to a child, while most large scale studies highlight that SSP is the most effective method, right? So some children may find that they have that light bulb moment from one or the other approach. So that is why all the four approaches are used slow and gradual. We start with the SSP and slow and gradual. All the other three approaches are also integrated when teachers are teaching, right? So analytic, analogy, and embedded. So once they have achieved the basic knowledge. Going ahead, learning to read with Oxford Advantage. So we start with the letter introduction, then letter sounds, phonics, poetries and stories, more vocabulary, letter formation, right? So just allow me to share my screen and I'll take you live. Right. So, Shalini, can you just tell
The screen is visible, Preeti.
Oxford Advantage is visible?
Yes, yes, it
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. Okay, so teachers, now we are on the live platform of Oxford Advantage Learning Management System. Maximum teachers who are attending today's session should be knowing that the on the address bar I have typed oxfordadvantage.co.in and I am using my credentials, that is my username and password, and we log in inside the platform. So first and foremost, we have to select the class which I am teaching. So extreme left top corner, I have selected the grade which I have to teach. And for example, I am on the third theme, animals. So I'll select the theme, third theme, animals. And here we have this theme with English, Hindi, and other subjects. So we'll be focusing on English, and I have opened this to show you that how SSP is integrated and how other phonics, but that is on the later stage. So initially, how systematically we have introduced letter sounds. So first and foremost, teachers, whenever you land up on this page, I would request, a humble request, to look at the theme plan first. So when I click on the theme plan, this is downloadable. You can take a printout also. Now you will see that in very systematic way, the theme, the lesson plan has been given that week one, what the teacher will be doing in English. So she's covering letter F. Week 2 she's covering letter G. Week 3 she's covering letter H, and week 4 she's covering letter I and J, and fifth week letter K, and last week is the culmination week. So that means one theme book she has to finish in 6 weeks, and last week is for culmination. And if you'll have a look at it, the resources which are being used during that week is also given in the theme plan, that what digital resource, what extra resource, audios, or maybe rava tray, or a sand tray, or a box, or puppet, whatever. So resources are clearly mentioned, that which number cards or flashcards or whatever, everything is mentioned here. Your circle time lesson plans are also here. So I'll close this. And now, because I have selected letter of the day is letter H, so I have clicked on letter H, and this is the weekly plan, which is 3.3. That means letter H is coming in the third week. So let's first have a Shalini, is the lesson plan visible?
I can see recommended plan.
Now,
Yes, yes.
thank
It's okay. Yeah, it's now on the screen.
Thank you. Okay, so teachers, when you look at the lesson plan 3.3, so day one, what you have to do is written over here that Inky is afraid of the gorilla and decides to move on. When she sees a big animal in the mud, it has a big and long mouth but the tiny tail. Inky is the octopus, which is the mascot for your English book. Then her mother helps her understand that no animal will hurt her if she does not hurt them back. So they are living peacefully in the jungle. Then the hint, ask the children if they can guess what Inky might have seen. Now the teacher is trying to introduce this animal, and through the animal she is trying to introduce the letter or sound of the day. So it's hippopotamus. Hippo. Ask the children if hippo starts with any of the letters they have learned till now. So, till now, they have already completed A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But they say no, hippo is starting with a sound which they have not heard of. Then it's time to introduce them to the next letter, which is letter H. Hold up the flashcards. So you will have to hold up a flashcard before you start the sound, right? So you can hold a proper flashcard, or you can use the resources which are available, and then read the story slowly from the theme book or play it from the ebook. Now, this why I was showing you this, because every teacher is supposed to read the lesson plan before you go to the classroom. So let's open up my book. So I'll select English again. Shalini, because I am changing the windows, is the ebook visible?
No, no, Preeti. Ebook is not visible. We still
Yeah.
are able to see the. Okay, I think the ebook is coming on. Yes, yes. We have.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, so now this is the ebook. I have opened the ebook. You'll click on the start button. So you'll have these two buttons. Do you want to continue from where you left? So if you really want to continue, I don't, because I have to show you the demo of letter H. Now this is your help page. Everything is here through arrows. You can see that which icon means what. So now, because I have read the help page, I will cross this page, and now I am on the ebook. I'll straight away select H because I have read other letters in the previous classes. Letter H. Now, in the lesson plan, we read that the teacher is supposed to show them letter H, and this is the activity page, and the teacher can show the children this activity, or this is the letter formation. Sorry, let's read this.
Let us learn about the letter H. H is for the hand that has fingers 5. H is for the honey in the beehive. H is for the hen that lays eggs. H is for the hippo with short legs. Listen to the sound of the letter H. House, hippopotamus, hat, honey, hen.
Right, teachers? Then I go back to the lesson plan, and you will see that lesson, sorry. Okay. This is the lesson plan. And now day 2, if I show you day 2, you will see that build curiosity by starting the day with interactivity, letter story H from the ebook. So now the interactive ebook, we'll go to interactive ebook. This is the activity, Now, this activity you can play to introduce more sounds. So, can we have what all H words can you identify? Can you put it in the chat box? And Shalini, can you please help me? What are the words coming up in the chat box? Are the teachers able to identify the words with H sounds?
Hen, hippo, lots of hen.
Okay.
Hippopotamus.
Hippo, hen, house,
House.
House.
hippie.
Hippie.
I guess that was a hippo.
Okay.
Hat, hen, hat, have,
Hat. Yes, hat.
Hat.
house,
House.
hippo, hen, hat, horse.
Horse.
Horse,
Yes,
Horse.
horse.
it would be hot.
Hot. Okay. Is it?
Now
Helmet.
Helmet.
it's uh, it's a huge rain of a
Words.
tornado of words. Yeah, hello is a word.
Okay. So let's show them all.
Helmet,
So we were,
hand,
yes, handkerchief, hammer.
honey, horse, hut, helmet, help.
Yes. Okay, teachers, thank you so much. Now we'll go back to the lesson plan and look at the lesson plan, that what is there here over here. So now day 2, there is extra activity which a teacher has to do with help of a sand tray or a rava tray. And then you will see that to sustain what the child has accomplished in day 1 and day 2, homework comes under sustain. The children will do the interactivity on tracing H from the ebook at home. So this was the interactivity the children are supposed to do at home, this one. So because this letter formation activity, because now in the classroom they have already seen it, they have completed it in the sand and in the air they have done. So now at home the children will practice letter formation individually at home, maybe uh, on their phone or tablets or anything. If they have, they can do it at home. So I am also not able to master that. It is asking me to try again, try again. Okay. Let's leave it here. Ah, finally, wow, I've done it. So now we'll go back to the lesson plan. So the lesson plan, day 3. Again, ask the children whether they had fun tracing letter H at home. See, whatever homework you give, you have to revisit it in the classroom, that what they have done, how that the children know how to trace letter H. It's time to introduce them to small letter H. Now, in my previous sessions and webinars, I have told you that we believe in introducing both uppercase and lowercase together, because you cannot get away with either, because children are looking at books, print material, where we are starting with a capital letter and followed by the small case. So uppercase, lowercase, they have to be taught together. So once they are thorough with the uppercase, they are introduced with the lowercase, and then how they have had done the written work of uppercase, they will practice writing lowercase in the book. And then at home, to sustain what they have accomplished, the children will go home and make H, a capital H and a small h with Play-Doh, and show them to their families. Simple activities to sustain. And then day 4, build curiosity by informing the children that it's going to be an activity day, and now they are doing all these activities. They should be able to do an activity based on all these 3 letters, and then there is a game a teacher is playing in the classroom. Now let's look at the culmination day of English. So culmination week would be 3.6. Theme 3.6 is sixth week. So let's look at the lesson plan of 3.6. So again, teachers, every theme you have to teach for 6 weeks. Week 1, week 2, week 3, and every week there are 5 days working. So this is 3.6, and let's look at activity day 1. Day 1, build curiosity in the class by telling the children that they are going to show and tell activity today. Now this is an activity which teacher is supposed to do, conduct in the classroom, and the children will come, they will use some props, and they will speak about it. And then the children will tell their families what all object their classmates got for show and tell, and the letters they have learned. Now, day 2. Day 2, when you will look at day 2, this is the learning resource tab 2, day 2. You can launch it from here only. So let's have a look at day 2 activity.
Letters F to K. One day in the forest.
So teachers, just a reminder, this is the culmination week. The 6th week is the culmination week. So whatever a child has learned in that week, all the letters, they are revising everything together.
A fox stopped at the pond. A fish popped out of the water. Hello, Mr. Fox. My name is Philly. I am Gullu, said the fox. The golden rays of the sun came in through the gaps between the leaves. The fox heard a goat. I must go, he said. Up on a tree where the bees made honey in their hive, the little squirrel saw a house far away. He saw a hammock and many hens. He said. He saw an insect falling into an ink pot. It was very funny. The insect looked as blue as the ink. In the middle of the jungle, the jackal saw a jeep. There was fire burning. He saw bread and a jar of jam. There was also a jug. It must be Jim, he thought. Kangaroo and koala meet after a long time. Kangaroo has lost his key. He thinks the naughty kitten may have taken it.
So that was the culmination video. And when we look at the lesson plan again, so day 2, day 3, we have 2 resources, and let's watch that. So now this is the revision. So this activity is purely for increasing the vocabulary. So this activity is not for phonics. Phonics flashcards are separate. And the last letter which the teacher has completed in this theme, third theme animal, is K.
Preeti,
Yes,
sorry, you're not sharing your screen, right?
I am. Is
Uh,
it?
right now, it is not shared.
Just give me a minute. What is visible on the screen?
We can see you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Just okay. So now,
Yeah, we are back on.
thank you. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I was showcasing these flashcards, and they have sound of letter name.
K,
For phonics, we have separate cards.
kite,
So these culmination activity, this one culmination activity is to enhance their vocabulary. Now, again, when I look at the lesson plan, so we were at day 3. When we look at day 3, then there is one learning material, one more resource is there. Shalini, can you see the two little dicky birds?
We have again lost the screen.
Okay, why is that? Now is it?
Yes.
Thank you. So this is again
Two little dicky birds sat upon the wall. One named Peter, the other named Paul. Fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter, come back, Paul. Two little dicky birds sat upon a wall. One named Peter, the other named Paul. Fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter, come back, Paul.
okay. Okay, we were at the lesson plan of the culmination week. So I was at day 3. So these were the two learning resources which are tagged to this particular day. Then we move to day 4. So day 4, build curiosity by starting the class with a game. Now children can have now that the children have learned to read and trace letter F till K, they will do some identification and writing today. So now these are the activities the teacher is supposed to do. She has to plan beforehand. I had shown you the theme plan. The resources are already, you can plan the resources, what are supposed to be used. And then the last, how they sustain it, the children will go home and show their work to their families. Very simple. And now we come to the last day of the culmination week, which is the 6th week. 6th week is the Bal Mela week, and here the complete planning for Bal Mela is given. Decorate the school with pictures of different animals and celebrate Animal Day. Because the theme was animals, the following are few suggestions to culminate the theme. Arrange a vet visit to the school. If possible, you have any parent who is a veterinary doctor, you can call them, let them engage in conversation about animal care with the children. Bring a pet to school if it is possible, if the school allows. Then arrange a bird observation activity where the children can observe birds from school playground. Please note that these are only suggestions. Please note that these are only suggestions. Feel free to explore the theme further with your own ideas. Right? So that was, and this we have done. Now going back here, when you click here, these are all the activities when we click on the learning resources. So here you will find,
Maybe again we have lost the visuals.
yes. So
No, no, no.
one second. Okay, now is it?
Yes.
So these are the learning resources you will find in English. These are the phonics sounds for F to K. So you can play it in the class. Then flashcards, animations, interactivities, and all these are tagged to your lesson, every single lesson plan. You only have to read the lesson plans carefully. Now I'll stop sharing the live platform LMS and I will start sharing the presentation again. And here we are. Um, Shalini, I hope the PPT is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we have gone through the live platform of um, the Oxford Advantage platform. Now we are looking at some um beginning to read word family games. So the first one is it's a very common one. And whenever we also visit schools, we see a lot of word walls created in different shapes like castles or walls or trees or any shape you can take and create a complete word wall. So it can be the you can keep building the wall every time you are introducing a new letter. Just tell the children to either put images or just write with crayon or color pencils or make a collage of the words and keep increasing the word wall. Then comes the word family slider game. Then make word slider using index cards or paper strips. Write the word family example N and let every child come and make it a slider by putting more words with that particular family word. Like if you are doing it with um, N, then pen, ten, men, whatever family word you have already done with the children. So you can make that. Then there is Lego or word sorts. Provide word cards with different word families. Ask the children to sort them into groups based on the word families. Right. So these are couple of them. Then we have more family words like rhyming books. You can uh, you can take help of books, rhyming books to teach similar words, family words. So see, this is how we are integrating all types of phonics, starting with the SSP and then rest of the words. Then word hunts. During reading activities, ask the children to find words from specific word families, right? So that can be done. Then word building again. Use magnetic letters or letter tiles, or maybe just simple play doh, and you put behind the flashcards a small round of a play doh, and they can keep putting it on the whiteboard or the blackboard or simply on the wall, and they can make their word wall. Then we have this one, like spinning. Spin, read, and write. So the children, you can first make it in the classroom for maybe 2 children together or 5 children together, or individually if you have a small group of children, and they can make a spin wheel kind of a thing, and they can move the needle, and whatever word comes they have to write, but it has to have some meaning, and the starting sound and the ending sound. So these things, or maybe you can just make a very big one, put it on the wall, teacher resource, and let the children write in their notebooks. You can spin the wheel and they can write, pronounce the sound. So you have to be creative while you are doing such activities in your classroom, because this is all practice. You cannot every day go in the class and use the flashcards. So you have to be creative, use different ways to practice sounds, practice blending, practice segmenting. And there's another game, dice game. So you just roll a dice, whichever number comes they have to read it. So these kind of games can be used for assessment purposes also, that you play the dice, so the children, they feel a sense of control and sense of confidence in them, that okay, it is my choice, I am rolling the dice and I will read that line. So these are again family words. Then more games, read and reveal, the one similar to the one we saw the video, that first they have to blend the sounds, and then they open up the folded part and the picture comes. So these can be big resources, not individual resources, teacher resources. You can make these as teacher resources. Now, that was it from my side. So let's quickly recap, and let's see what all is coming in the chat box. And if we have questions, yes, I can see the chat box now. Any ideas, any questions? And let's first recap what all we have done. So I would want the teachers to recap along with me. And let's have some pointers in the chat box, that what all things we used. Okay. Okay. Let's recap what we started today. Recap of today's session. We are still at H, horse. Okay. Teachers, I want us to recap what we did today. I can see the...
Preeti, there's one statement that has come in: basic phonics, type of phonics.
Okay, actually it's running very fast. I
Yes,
can't...
it's quite fast.
Yes.
So that has come from Harshika Nahar.
Lovely.
Sam has written that it is basic
Now
phonics.
I can see, I don't have to do the recap, but very quickly, we started with a recap video of my previous webinar. We spoke about different types of phonics, and it was systematic synthetic phonics. So that one we also start in Oxford Advantage. And then there is analogy phonics, then there was embedded phonics, then there was analytic phonics, right? So 4 types of phonics we did today. Then we took a deep dive into SSP, systematic synthetic phonics, and its stages. We did the stages of SSP. For we started with the anybody, any answers? Yes.
The chat is scrolling too fast.
Yes, I am trying to...
6 stages of SSP has come in, pros and cons.
I wanted the names actually. But anyways, it's okay. So first was skill development.
Yeah,
So
it is
first
there.
we
It is
developed.
here.
Acha, it's there.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
Expansion. Everything is
yes,
coming.
yes, very good. Next was first letters, then expansion, then it was beginning to read, segmenting, then it was consolidation, we consolidate and read, then blending, and then further development, more sounds, more different kinds of words, and lastly, it was achieving the fluency, right? And then we did see the complete cycle of SSP on the live platform of Oxford Advantage, right? Yes, embedded, active, blending, digraphs, fluency, lesson plan. Yes, homophones for the development, blending, fluency, achieving fluency. Yes, yes. Practical steps for implementing SSP, revision of last lesson for the develop. Thank you so much, teachers. Now I would request Shalini, if you can, if there was any question which I need to answer.
Preeti, most of the questions we were able to answer as the on the chat itself. There was one question I believe which was asked right at the beginning of the session from Vanishri ma'am. She asked, "Is it all right to introduce both the big letter and the small letter together at beginner level?"
Right. So, ma'am, Vanishri, ma'am, I think I did answer it in during my session today that it is very very practical to introduce both type of letters, the uppercase and the lowercase, simultaneously. You can start with the uppercase and then second day you can start with the lowercase. That's how in Oxford Advantage also we are introducing. So sound is the main thing, and then letter formation, identification, because anywhere when the child is reading a text, a book, or even the notebook he has, his name is written on it. It is starting with the uppercase and followed by the lowercase. So we have to, I mean, practically, logically, technically, it is supposed to be done together. Okay, so we had another question that how to differentiate between the C and a K sound. So a C, a K, and a CK, all these three make the same sound, which is a K sound, and there are rules behind it, which you will find because it's at length. You will find it in the recording, which we will be sharing the path, how to reach that. We have already uploaded a lot of recordings in the LMS only. So I would request teachers, because that was another 2 hour session, which thanks to our Shalini ma'am here, she compressed it into 5 to 6 minutes, which initially we showed you. So we would request that for detailed rules and basic codes and more phonemic awareness, kindly go and watch the recording. That recording will be live on by Monday, and your AET members will share the path how you can reach to that point where you can watch the recording. It is will be available inside Teachers Corner only, similar to the other things we keep uploading there. So that's all from my side, Shalini. Thank you so much, teachers. I can see a lot of feedback here.
Thank you so much, Preeti. That's how we should be saying right now. And yes, the teachers have been extraordinarily active on the chat. We've been receiving genuine queries, things that we encounter on a day-to-day basis when we are teaching children of the pre-primary level, or beginner level 1, level 2. There were questions from even class 1 and class 2 teachers, and some of them were quite interesting. So and it was fun answering those questions. Thank you so much for putting in these questions, teachers. And as Preeti has already mentioned, the recording of this webinar, as well as the webinar that we conducted in the month of November last year, 2023 November. Both these webinars, the recordings will be available in the Oxford Advantage LMS from Monday. The path will be shared. So even those who missed out a few parts of today's webinar due to connectivity or audio not connecting or any other issue, you will all be able to watch it there, right? Again, at the end of the webinar, as we end the session, you will receive your feedback link and kindly take out time to fill it up. And once you have submitted the feedback link within the next half an hour or so, you will receive the soft copy of the certificate in your participation certificate in the email inbox of the ID that you used to register for this webinar and the one that you're using to participate in this webinar, right? And in case of any difficulty, please reach out to the member of the Academic Excellence team who is constantly in touch with you. All right. So I think with that, we are ready to close today's session. First, let me thank all the teachers for being here and being so actively involved in the session. And Preeti, thank you so much. It was such an insightful webinar. We had so much information that had come in. I kept seeing messages from teachers saying interesting, such a useful session, relevant session. And I'm sure we are very, very happy and glad that we were able to bring to you a session that is becoming useful to you and which will help you as you implement phonic-based reading in your classes.
Okay.
We had Rajni with us in the back end today, and it will be really, really wrong of me if I don't thank her. She has been constantly, helping us chat, sort out the chats, picking out the questions so that we can answer them in time. Thank you, Rajni.
So, Shalini, just before we close the session, there were a couple of simple, short questions. So,
Absolutely.
how to introduce short vowel and long vowel? How do we differentiate? So, teachers, there were a lot of other questions also for which I request all the teachers to kindly watch the video. And in detail, we have explained that the C and a CK and a K sound also for long and short vowels, because we are ending the webinar, it would be very, very difficult and I will not be able to justice to this question if I take it up in seconds, because it's a long explanation for this. Then there was that yes, it's a very relevant question, and I think it is for all the people here, that we don't follow phonics style of teaching practically for all subjects. How can we inculcate good pronunciation in the students? So even CBSE says that mother teacher is the system, a recommendation which mostly the schools follow. So solely after the preparatory years, the responsibility comes to the subject teachers, but initially it is with a single teacher. So I mean, in different subjects also, you should try to incorporate phonics so that because they are able to read in English in other subjects as well. So more responsibility on English teachers when the children they go in grade 1 and grade 2. So I would suggest practice, practice, practice. That's the motto. And yes, we will be sharing a post read in the teacher's corner only. Yes, that's all, Shalini, from my side.
Okay. So, teachers, once again, request all of you to watch the videos, the previous video, for most of the queries will be answered there. Preeti, I think there is one question which I think I will be able to answer. There is one teacher who has asked to repeat the sound of H. And the
Okay.
sound is very similar to how you sound when you have climbed, say, 3 or 4, flights of stairs. You reach on top and you say, right? So it's as easy as that. And it's at, hat, right? So that's the sound of H. I'm not sure who has asked the question, but that's one question that had come up. Cool.
Thank
All
you.
right. It's sharp 7. Thank you so much, teachers. We are
Thank you.
ready to close the webinar. Thank you for your participation. Looking forward to reading your feedback. See you all. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you.